First off, congratulations on your directorial debut.
Thank you.
I saw it last night. It's fantastic. Now, it's a movie based on a play, slave play. For folks who didn't know, slave play, 12 Tony nominations. In a nutshell, what is slave play for people who weren't cool enough like myself to go see it?
You know, I say this in the doc, and I'm going to keep saying it till the day I die. I don't tell people what slave play is about.
I know.
It's you know, listen, it's more fun if you don't know, if you go in a little confused. But you can also just go to Wikipedia. Plenty of people on Twitter just post the Wikipedia article all the time and do it.
I was in New York when slave play came out, which was just before the pandemic, right? When it moved to Broadway, and it was all the talk. Nobody would tell you what it was about, but people were angry. People were like, it was great, but it was something that I think you found unity in, that you pissed off people of all races.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm a Gemini, so I'm an equal opportunity offender.
Yes.
Like, people are like, F that guy all the time. Can you say that here? I don't know.
You can say whatever the hell you want.
Okay, great.
Right? So you do slave play, right? But then you make a documentary about slave play. Why make a documentary and why not write a book? Were you afraid Florida would ban it?
No, yes, absolutely. I mean, actually, I was afraid my home state, Virginia, would ban it. I mean, like, who knows? Most of the places I've been are banning the books. But no, I didn't want to make a documentary to begin with. I didn't. No, I literally, the title of the movie comes from an email I sent to a very big movie studio. I'm not gonna say which one. You can guess. You can guess.
Wait, can I guess?
Try.
Warner Brothers?
No, I'm just kidding. They're like, we want to make slave play into a movie. And another one was like, we want to make slave play into a TV show. And I said, slave play is not a movie, period. It is a play, period, and sent it. And then when HBO, so here's the nitty gritty. In 2020, our play left the Golden Theater because it was gonna close early. I mean, because another show was coming in. Mark McDonough's show was coming in, The Hangman. Sorry, this is long, it's so stupid. Anyway, The Hangman was coming in. We couldn't be in that theater anymore. And then someone was like, hey, another play that's on Broadway right now is gonna close early. So you can take that theater. And we were like, what? And they're like, yes, you can sign the papers March 14th, 2020. And we were like, yes. And they were like, all you need to do it is an extra, like, I don't know, I'm gonna say a number, but it's probably not real, 50,000. And I was like, great, I just signed a deal with HBO. HBO does documentaries. My friend filmed The Last Day. My friend was a very famous documentarian. He had filmed our last performance. I was like, what if the documentary is like, they're closing? Oh, it's so sad. Then, bam, it's open to get on Broadway. You never expected that for a black play. So I was gonna do this little hat trick documentary, and I signed the papers, and they gave us some money, and then March 15th happened, and I was stuck in a place in Finsbury Park in London. I had COVID in London.
That's lovely. How very British of you.
Guys, I only did it because I wanted to be in an alien environment. I didn't want to see like, you know, Canal Street empty. Like that would actually mean I was in a horror movie. If you don't see those little weird little upside down buses like on the street, you don't know that it should be there, you know?
Wait, do you think double-decker buses are upside down?
They look a little upside down. I feel like if someone made a double-decker bus a cake, they would call it like some sort of version of an upside down or like inside out, like a topsy-turvy cake.
You are full of shit. I appreciate it.
Anyway, so then 2021 comes around, HBO calls me and they're like, hey, we wrote a check for you to write this documentary. You cashed the money during 2020. Where's the doc? And I was like, oh. Yeah, got it. I'm supposed to make a doc. And so then the last 3 years, I've been learning how to make a movie by making this doc. And the doc is just theater supremacy. Like I say it's not a movie, it's a play. And the whole, spoiler alert for my movie, guys. The end of the movie basically articulates why plays are better than movies. I'm sorry, I know, listen. And as I say there, one art form is new and one art form is old. We've only been making movies since the beginning of the 20th century. They're already trying to take that away from us. They're trying to get computers to make them now. So I'm like, they're not gonna get computers to make plays. People barely see them. No one wants to pay for them. So keep making plays and changing lives of people everywhere. And speaking of which, hold on. This is a lot. But I'm producing a play right now. It's called Invasive Species. It's at the Vineyard Theater, and I want to give you this hat. Merch.
Merch. Go to a play, have your mind changed, and leave with some frickin' merch. Invasive Species.
Yeah.
I love it. Now, you do articulate in the movie why you love theater, right? Yes. And I will say, we talked a little bit backstage, and it is true. I went to go see Slave Play with my wife and a friend, and we left Slave Play, and we were like, we need to go talk about this. And you don't get that with a lot of experiences anymore, right? We really make space to actually try to parse something and try to find where the meaning is, what it meant to us. And I think Slave Play was one that pushed a lot of buttons, but started started a lot of conversations. Like, yes, you are a theater supremacist. But you are...
It's the only supremacist you can be.
It's a good one, right? Yeah, if you're gonna pick one. But how do you still use the medium of film to start those conversations?
Well, I mean, I think that like one of the things that I grew up on was like this sort of theatrical ephemera that like sort of created a generation of people who like theater. I mean, the people who are watching the plays on Broadway right now are all of a golden generation of people who are the same age as every congressman and senator, meaning that they're not long for this earth.
Yes.
And they're amazing. But when they were seeing plays, they were also going home and watching television shows or hearing radio plays on the thing. And theater was everywhere around them. We had, we had a taste of it with like Inside the Actors Studio, or like those amazing like Uta Hagen videos of her like talking to weird actors and smoking in the room. And like there were like Company, the Penny Baker doc, where you saw like all of these amazing phenomenal actors struggling and failing in front of you to make the Company soundtrack. Company was a failure on Broadway, but they made a documentary about it when it came out because people cared about the ephemera of theater, what happened when live people got together and did a thing.
Right.
And now the only time we do that, we care about you guys. You guys are great. Comedy, we let comedy do it.
Yes.
But like,
thank you. Appreciate it.
But I think that like as a culture, we should care about the live theatrical experience outside of just SNL, The Daily Show, Mad TV when it was here. We should care about the people in Oklahoma who like are gathering around to tell the story of Black Wall Street in a play in the middle of Tulsa, because that play, it might seem small, it's not as big as a movie, it won't be seen by 200 million people, but the 200 people a night that see that play will leave talking about it, even if they're talking about how much they hated it.
What do you think that is, though? Like, I mean, I totally agree with you, but do you think that is because it is a communal experience, because we're all in a space together, which we also get in movie theaters, and people still talk about how horror films do so well because you have this shared fear in a space.
Yes.
And comedy films do well in that sense. Or is it the fact that film has gotten so good at replicating reality or taking us to feats of fantasy, and that theater still lives space for imagination, that we can't fill in the gaps? Like, where do you see the special sauce in that?
I think that so there are definitely filmmakers and films that like don't ask you to have a passive imagination. A lot of films do though.
Yeah.
Like, I think a film that required you to like lean in past your passivity was like Zone of Interest from last year, right? A movie that like you're in that movie and he's holding on to you tight. And he's like, you better watch and make sense of all this and fill in the blanks yourself, right? Because there's a lot on the corners you have to fill in. Most movies don't give you that space. They don't trust their audiences enough. Plays have to, by the very nature of being in a play.
Yeah.
If I'm in a play and I tell you that I'm going to Mars, you'll believe it, whether there's special effects doing it or not, because I've just told you I'm going to Mars.
Right.
And you have to buy it. Because that's like the contract you sign when you go into a theater.
Right.
Again, that's why a lot of people don't like it. It can be bad. Like, seeing someone sitting there like, I'm going to Mars. You're like, no.
I mean, there is something to that. It's like that moment is an invitation to the audience, and we all have to agree on the inherent silliness of believing something.
Yes.
Right?
But that conversation, that belief inside of a micro community, right, is so necessary for for political change, in my opinion. Because I think that when you've worked really hard to see the same thing with a bunch of people around you, when you leave, you want to engage with them to talk about how the ideas inside of the thing you just saw or whatever can be tangibly made manifest in reality and not just in this fantasy you've engaged in.
Do you see it? That's interesting. Do you see that as possible in film or wider art forms that can reach more people? And is somebody dropping the ball on that? Like, are we not engaging the ability to use some of these other art forms to have these conversations, to enact more political change?
I think people are. People are doing it all over. I mean, like, there's amazing painters, amazing performance artists, amazing musicians who are, Mustafa the Poet just made this amazing song that just came out the other day that I think is galvanizing an entire community of people around, like, thinking about Gaza in a different way on a musical level, right? I think that, like, one of the things I don't want us to lose, though, is like in the ease of Netflix and Max and whatever channel you're watching this on. I don't know. You might be streaming it, but or stealing it, stealing, whatever.
Streaming it, or you're watching it linear Comedy Central. Thank you very much.
But no matter how you might have gotten this, I don't want the other tools in our toolboxes as a society to get lost along the way because this is easier, right? Like, going to a theater is hard. Getting 40 people together to make a thing happen every night for like weeks is difficult, you know? And yet it's a necessity because I think it helps us see. It helps us see and imagine in a different way. In the same way that a painting helps you see and imagine in a different way than a novel. In the same way that like a novel helps you see and imagine in a different way than a poem. And what a poem can do in 40 words is like so delicious. You don't want that to fall away just because like, I don't know, we can tweet now.
Right. I mean, which is still pretty fun.
And it's so fun.
I'm curious. Slave Play is about to open in London.
Yes.
Right? And there's been a little drama in London.
Oh, God.
Oh, God.
I try not to talk about this.
Well, you're on TV now, man. Buckle up.
I did give you the hat, so I think
you did give me the hat. You gave me the.
So you got to give me the drama.
We got a little bit of drama. Well, you do something called blackout dates, right? And I'll let you. What is a blackout date?
So London. Hi, I'm so sorry.
You think we have that reach? You think we really are speaking in London?
I don't know. Listen, this is television. It's not theater. It can go everywhere.
Okay, go speak to London.
Okay,
speak to
hi,
London.
I am so sorry that my BBC interview about a thing I had done in London a year prior caused so much ire this time. I don't know why. I didn't do it to cause any ire, but I do think that both in America and in the UK, thinking about the architecture of who's in your audience matters, right? Having an audience of people, like this is what comedians do every time. They have someone come on and warm up the audience, and they warm them up specifically, right? Like if you're gonna do like an audience of like college bros, you better arm whoever's going out there to know what kind of humor gets them going, right?
Yes.
I think that we have to think about the architecture of the audiences that we've invited into a play. My play, London, is a really intense play about race, trauma, colonization, etc. And because of that, when you are a black person or a brown person in that audience, it can feel complex to sit next to a white person. Now, that complexity was a part of the play. I wanted that. I love a mixed audience. That's how I grew up. That's how the play is a mixed play. Yet, I had an audience member ask me, what would this feel like to see the show with only black people? Can you give me that? And I said, why not? It'll only be 1 or 2 nights.
Yeah.
So we did 2 nights where I only invited black people. Now, you could come if you wanted to. Tanya Pinkins brought a white friend. She was like, I wanted to know what it's like when I go see a Chekhov play. And I was like, that's great. But it was mainly black people. It was Keke Palmer was there. It was like, you know, the kid from NYU that DM'd me the night before being like, me and all the Black Student Union want to come. And it was the first time that I saw my play, and everyone in the audience laughed when I laughed when I was writing it, which was crazy, because when you see my play.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think there's a lot of times that white people are nervous about when they're laughing, and when black people are nervous when they're laughing. And no one wants to give the other people permission to laugh. Because like, you see someone laugh, you're like, what you laughing at? And then you laugh, and they're like, well, why are they laughing? And it's like becomes this whole thing. Sure. You see the races, that was the racial voice play I did there. But that was crazy. Thanks, guys, this has been fun.
But you're also seeing, I mean, I think what you're speaking to is something there is a play that's happening on stage, right? But what is also compelling in this experience is the tension that we're experiencing in the theater. And if we're given the space to articulate that and think through what we are feeling based on what we're seeing other people react to, that in of itself is a separate performance, and you're trying to curate that in a different lens.
Well, that's how I came up with the play.
Why did you tell London that?
Well, because I didn't. You did it. You did it so well. But at Yale, when I did this play at Yale, which was like a part of the thing, I should have put this in the movie.
Yeah.
Damn. You know what? I wanted the movie to be short. I don't think the movie should be that long. So
sequel. Think about sequel.
Yeah, it'll be in the extra bits on HBO Max. But when we did it at Yale, it was the first time I was the woke class at Yale, like the class where they told us this is the most diverse we've ever had a student body at Yale. They're like, for the first time ever, yeah, there's the same number of men and women in the class of actors. We're like, what? In 2016? They're like, absolutely.
Were they saying that while they were patting themselves on the back?
Absolutely, absolutely. And no shades to my teachers, they were great. They were trying, whatever. Anyway, we had a lot of people of color and women for the first time in our class. Again, for years, no acting conservatory in the country had as many women as men. You know why?
Why?
Not as many roles for women. They're like, what are we going to do with all those women? There's not enough roles. Instead of just saying, why don't we find plays where there are, or invite writers to write more roles for women by just having an influx of them?
Yeah.
They just said, we need less.
So we only have 3 sisters. So what are we gonna do?
We only have 3 sisters.
We only got
exactly.
3 sisters.
So anyway,
it's Uncle Vanya. It's not Aunt Vanya. Keep moving.
But at Yale, one of the cool things and interesting things about going to Yale is that you're in a community. You're in a full town called New Haven where there are people who saw Lupita Nyong'o do her first play at Yale. So not only are you watching people not only are people who are watching all the students' plays the student body, it's also a bunch of like older, mainly white people who have seen every play that's ever been at Yale watching the plays too. And my play was in a 3/4 thrust. And when Slave Play started, because it was so small, you could see everyone seeing everything. So imagine seeing like 30 young black, brown kids right here. And then right across the row from them, also lit by the lights, like 50 older white people. Just like looking, and the laughs are like, ha ha ha, ha 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 ha, and then everyone gets really nervous and scared, and then people felt implicated because they were like, why are they looking at me so much? They're looking at me so much. Right. It's like, no, they weren't even looking at you. They're looking at the play, but it looks like they're looking at you because they're looking right here.
Yeah.
And so when we were doing the play, I was like, the play has to happen in the round. It has to happen in the round. And New York Theater Workshop was like, we can't afford the round. But Clint Ramos and Robert O'Hara, my director, and my director is Robert. Clint is the set designer. We're like, we got this. Put those mirrors back there.
The mirrors behind it all.
And the entire show, you got to watch people watch the play, and like that becomes the play for me in so many ways. Like watching people squirm is fun for me.
Fun. Yes.
And it's fun for other people. Yeah, like the first time you see it, you'll be squirming. You won't like it. It'll be like, oh, I don't know how I feel about this. But then the second time you come, the third time you come, you get to watch everyone else. You're like, I know the secret, and you don't.
And for a narcissist, it's great for me because I can just watch myself the whole time. Right?
I mean, but look at you. You look so great.
Thank you very
much. Those blue eyes.
They're beautiful, right?
They are. You get lost
This guy. See, these are the types of conversations we should be having. The documentary Slave Play, not a movie, a play, will debut June 20th, HBO, and available to stream on Max. Also, go see Invasive Species. This is Jeremy O'Harris.